political stories. Let's start with what's happening at the IEBC. IEBC, that is on page 10 of the Sunday Standard. IEBC dilemmas, credibility, fears, jolt preparations. That is after the Public Procurement Administrative Board cancelled the 2.5 billion tender for printing ballot papers again, derailing the electioneering process this month. What is your take on this?
Well, we know for the longest time that a number of staffers at the IEBC, when they're appointed to these positions, their major interest is actually not to deliver a free and fair and credible elections. Like during the last election, it was very surprising that a number of the commissioners actually started their own companies, and they were the principal suppliers to the organization. And this case here is a very good indicator of the commercial infights at IEBC, that while the entire nation is looking at having a free, fair and credible election.
At the commission itself?
At the commission, obviously, at the commission itself, right. And obviously outsiders, for them that are interested in making money from every process which takes place in this nation. Whether it's the food crisis, whether there is a water crisis, anything else, people are interested in making a quick buck. However, again, there's a provision for single sourcing for this kind of an operation. Mm-hmm. So nobody should be worried today that we are not going to have an election because of a failure to get ballots. But I think moving forward, we need to lift the veil of incorporation and understand who are these people, who are the architects of these commercial fights within IEBC, and are they linked to the political party leadership in Kenya? Are they linked to Jubilee? Are they linked to NASA? So that we can actually get to know those personalities. Mm-hmm. Because a number of those costs are really highly inflated, and you cannot fail to see. Like for instance, during the last election, part of the reason why there was a logistical breakdown is that one of the commissioners had awarded himself a tender, obviously using a dotted line, mm-hmm. to supply transport services. Right. So when one of the commissioners is supplying transport services to the organization and something goes wrong, I doubt whether a junior officer can look up at the commissioner and say, excuse me, sir, your company has failed to deliver. Right. And I think moving forward, really, as a nation, we should start treating elections as something which is almost holy, so that even if you want to make a buck from IEBC, make it in a manner which is very transparent, right. That does not compromise the nation.
Dr. Do you think this raises any credibility issues over the election, or is it just an administrative hitch?
In my view, I think this could be another chicken gate scandal in the kitchen, mm-hmm. cooking. And I want to agree with the Appeals Board Procurement Review Board for coming in handy to stop this. Because in every procurement process, it must be free and transparent.
All right.
And if this is not checked, as my colleague here said, if this is not checked, then people are going to make money. Right. Politicians and all, and the staff, the IEBC.
Are there any fears, Chape, of this delaying the election in any way? What is your take on this?
There is probability, mm-hmm. of we might not have those fears for delaying elections, because the IEBC can do what we call direct procurement because of time, mm-hmm. or government to government. But this is a process that is not supposed to be done direct because of the several stakeholders involved. So if they do direct procurement, it means the political parties will be left out and the other stakeholders will be left out. But because of time, I think now they can approach that way. But it will be open, whether it will be done direct procurement involving all the political parties. Another thing also the IEBC are supposed to do in future, because all the time throughout during the election, we have scandals to do with the procurement with IEBC. The latest one was the Chicken Gate scandal. Now we have this scandal, and maybe in 2022 we'll have another scandal. So in future, if the laws can be changed, that procurement not to be the IEBC to do just logistics, mm-hmm. but the procurement of all material to be used in election should be done with maybe the power, the body that is accredited by the government without any interest.
All right. There's a, Richard, there's a paragraph here from rogue political class, conspiratorial parliament, disorganized political parties, a conniving population, indifferent civil society to a mistrusted electoral commission. It's a familiar story of hope against the odds. Those are the words of my colleague Nzao Musau. Does that represent the state of affairs?
It's really bad. Actually, that really represents it because it's a cancer that is eating into our society. And this, honestly, is really not just about the election. This is about entrepreneurship. If you want to look at it more honestly, it's about people trying to play around with the procurement process to make crazy amounts of money that will end up not giving the Kenyan citizens value for their money. Because this is about exaggerating prices. It is not necessarily about manipulating the electoral process, but it is about making it unnecessarily expensive. So we need value for money. The most disappointing thing about these things is that the IEBC has a legal department, fully functional, that is paid by taxpayers' money, and you wonder where they are when some of these things happen. And the other thing is, I don't know whether the IEBC understands the role that it plays, because it is also about credibility. They should be like Caesar's wife, beyond reproach. And when we start seeing some of these funny games of people doing things to make money, then we wonder how different are they? Can we really entrust our electoral process with them? So as much as everybody in Kenya now wants to make money, it's important for the people who are managing some of these very sensitive institutions to know that there is more to what they are doing than just making an extra buck, that there is a responsibility load on ensuring that they are as much as possible beyond reproach.
Yes. All right, interesting story there. Of course, we will keep an